What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Shift on YouTube with your host, Francisco Rojas. Make sure, before we start this video, obviously go make sure you subscribe to the podcast on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. The Shift with Francisco Rojas, not just on YouTube, but we also are in podcast form. Go make sure you check out that. We have that going every single week. We have the videos going every single week. We got everything going, baby. We got everything going. That's what we do here at The Shift. So, man, today, really interesting topic here, man. Really, I love talking pitching, man. When it comes to baseball, pitching is one of my favorite things. I'm sure you all out there as well. I'm sure there's a lot of baseball people out there that love pitching as much as me, if not more. Pitching Ninja, my favorite account on Twitter. I love you, Rob Friedman. I love you. I love your stuff. I love everything that you put out. A huge Rob Friedman fan. And of course, since the return of the alien, the GOAT, of course, we have seen multiple million, whatever, an absurd amount of Jacob deGrom content from Rob Friedman on Twitter. So, with that being said, with Jacob deGrom back and healthy now, right? Hopefully, fingers crossed, he is healthy now. We get a healthy Jacob deGrom for the rest of the season. You know why? Because when the Mets acquired Max Scherzer this year, in the offseason, I believe it was November of the offseason, right before the lockout for a couple of months, right? Max Scherzer was signed to the New York Mets for, 43 average annual value per year, for the Mets to have Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett in an absurd rotation. But the top two there, Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer, were supposed to be potentially one of the best duos of all time. And Scherzer, he's missed a little time this year as well, but he's been healthy, and he has been unbelievable when healthy this year. Seems healthy right now. Again, fingers crossed for baseball that Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer stay healthy. They were supposed to be one of the greatest duos of all time. When we talk great duos, right? I wasn't there for it. Sandy Koufax and Drysdale. Even recently, Verlander, Garrett Cole. Who else? Pedro. I don't really think Pedro really had a partner like that. But, the ones I think of, Curt Schilling Randy Johnson. When I think of Curt Schilling Randy Johnson, that's the best duo of all time, just because of what they did in that time period together. And obviously, Randy Johnson during that time period was probably arguably one of the best primes we've ever seen from a pitcher in Major League history. So now that we have deGrom and Scherzer back healthy, deGrom throwing 102, maxing out at 102, 103 with a 96 mile per hour slider. It's absurd. We never have seen anything like this. The guy's coming back from an injury where he basically missed a full season between missing the second half of last season and the first half of this season, missing a whole year of baseball pretty much, and he comes back throwing 102 with a 96. It's unbelievable. And Max Scherzer putting up a 198 ERA through 15 starts this year when healthy. It's insane. And now that we have Scherzer and deGrom back healthy, man, they have the potential to be what Schilling and Randy Johnson were for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. Remember what Schilling and Randy Johnson did, man. They did some incredible things for especially the 2001 season. That's what I want to hit on here specifically. What Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling did in that 2001 season. I think they combined for like 665 strikeouts, finished 1-2 in Cy Young voting. They finished 1-2 in just about as many major pitching categories in the National League and Major League Baseball that you could have thunk as well. Maybe Pedro over there in the American League, he ranked up there as well. Roger Clemens also. But when it came to Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson finishing 1-2 in Cy Young voting, I have it right here, ERA plus, wins above replacement, innings pitched, strikeouts, of course, and win probability added. And I think for that stretch, like Randy Johnson was averaging like 300-plus strikeouts. That year, Curt Schilling had 293 strikeouts. They combined for like 665, which was, at the time, I believe, the most a duo had ever combined for, ever. ever in a single season. And man, what they did during the regular season, and then of course the important thing here, what I really want to touch on, is the postseason. The postseason, they were both dominant. I believe that's the only World Series Randy Johnson ever pitched in, was that 2001 World Series, and he was incredible. Just looking at his general numbers from that postseason, Randy Johnson had a 1.52 ERA in 6 starts, 2 shutouts, and a 171 batting average against. In the World Series, a 104 ERA in 2 starts, 3 games. He came in and got the win in Game 7. I believe Schilling started Game 7, and Randy Johnson came in relief to win that World Series. And just both of them, and obviously I don't even really have to touch on Curt Schilling too much. We know bloody sock with the Red Sox, what he did with the D-backs. Schilling overall has some of the best postseason numbers we've ever seen by a pitcher in Major League history. And of course, to top it off, they won co-World Series MVP. You finish 1-2 in Cy Young race, where Randy Johnson won the Cy Young. I think that was a stretch. His second Cy Young. That was going to be 4 straight. Whatever it was 2000 to 2003, 01 to 04, whichever. They finished 1-2 in that, and they finished with co-World Series MVP for what they did in that World Series. And what they did in the playoffs was just unbelievable. And what I'm saying here about the playoffs, that's what Scherzer and deGrom are going to have to do for the Mets. I'm not saying they're going to have to come in for relief appearances. Now, some pitchers do that. We've seen that with Madison Bumgarner. Scherzer himself has come in, I think, last year in NLDS for the Dodgers. He came in and he did get I think he had the save in Game 5 against San Francisco. But deGrom and Scherzer are going to have to be the 2022 whatever version that's going to be of what Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson were for the 2001 D-backs. Because, man, you look at what Schilling and Randy Johnson did for that team was not just them what they did in the World Series. I mean, you look at where they finished in like the top 5 for like ERA and all that stuff. Like, it was all because of those two. The rest of the rotation sucked. Now, the rest of the rotation isn't bad for the Mets. You got Bassett, you got Taijuan Walker, you got and Carrasco's been really good too lately, as from what I've seen. But deGrom and Scherzer are really going to have to be what Schilling and Johnson were for that team, especially now that they're healthy. And look at the stuff from deGrom, man. Like I mentioned before, maxing out at 102 with the 96-mile-per-hour slider. What he's done in 2 starts already, like he already has a 19 strikeouts per 9 innings. I mean, he's already looking in more than deGrom form. And what Scherzer, like I said, what Scherzer's done so far for the Mets in 15 starts when healthy. And that's the big thing here, is they stay healthy. They stay with their best stuff. That's what I'm talking about here, man. They have to be healthy. I mean, Scherzer can't be tired at the end of the season. I mean, everyone's tired at the end of the season, but apparently Scherzer was complaining about, I think from what I remember last year, Scherzer was talking about his body wasn't feeling right at the end of the season, but they're going to need Scherzer and deGrom to not be feeling like that at the end of the season. They're going to need them to go into the playoffs, go into the World Series, be that 1-2 punch that Schilling and Randy Johnson were. Look, Verlander and Garrett Cole, they were a great duo too, but man, Verlander wasn't very good in the World Series. Cole was okay. Cole was okay in those, he was good actually in those playoffs. Verlander has a good overall, postseason record for his career, but Verlander and Cole had a chance to do what Johnson and Schilling did in 01. I mean, they were strikeouts and everything. 1-2 in Cy Young. If they had won the World Series that year, they had a chance to be possibly what Schilling and Johnson were. That's what deGrom and Scherzer have to do. They have to go into the postseason this year and be what Johnson and Schilling were, especially for the Mets to win the World Series, man. Still got the Braves. You still got I know the Brewers and the Cardinals aren't a big threat, but man, and you got the Dodgers and the Padres now. So deGrom and Scherzer are really going to have to be what Schilling and Johnson were. You really got to look at that season and be like, man, maybe they can't duplicate exactly, but there has to be some form of a 2022 version of what deGrom and Scherzer could be. Look, and the postseason numbers, as far as I'm concerned, from deGrom and Scherzer, they're good. Scherzer has been in a lot. He was with the Tigers back in the early 2010s, with the Nats on those divisional series, and winning the World Series. So he has more postseason experience, and he has overall decent numbers, or good numbers, 3.22 ERA and 26 games, 21 starts, 160 strikeouts. And in the World Series, he's been a good pitcher. Look, 3.86 ERA, 18 strikeouts and 3 appearances in the World Series, and that's in 16 innings. So he's had good numbers. And deGrom, look, in 4 starts in that 2015 playoffs, 25 innings, 29 strikeouts, 10.4 K per 9. The World Series wasn't so great in 1 start. It's only 1 start. 4 earned, 2 strikeouts in 5 innings against the Royals back in 2015. Wasn't great, but that was only 1 start. But his overall postseason numbers are good. So looking at that, look, man, maybe they do have the potential going into this postseason where this Mets team, seems pretty different from other seasons, not the past 4 or 5 seasons. So deGrom and Scherzer, they had the chance to do what Schilling and Randy Johnson did in 2001. Let me know what you think. Do you think Scherzer and deGrom, can they be that good? Can they be the 2022 version of the 01 D-backs where you had Schilling and Randy Johnson? Do they have that in them? Look, man, Scherzer's in his late 30s. deGrom's in his prime, right, in his early 30s. Absolutely insane stuff from both. What we've seen, especially in their primes of their careers. I mean, it seems like Scherzer's prime has just been the last 10 years. And deGrom looking like the best thing since Pedro still, coming off of injury. I want to know from you guys, though, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me, like, some of the best duos of all time. Have there been better duos since Randy Johnson and Schilling? Not just Cole and Verlander. Is there anybody else I haven't named? Who am I missing? When it comes to some of the best duos ever? Do Scherzer and deGrom have what it takes to take, to kind of, look, the Mets offense has been good, and the bullpen, Edwin Diaz, has been insane, but Scherzer and deGrom, to some certain extent, are going to have to carry the load the second half of the season and going into the postseason here. Let me know on Twitter at Rojas_media_ in the comments on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to the podcast. Have that in the description. Make sure you go do that, and I'll see you guys next week.